All right, so we are talking all about Chime today. What is Chime? It's a CRM, and we are going to deep dive with Ian today and unravel all of the things that Chime can do. Disclaimer, I don't think he's used all of it yet because it's such a robust, huge system. But we are going to deep dive because we were talking about it in our last episode. We're going to talk about it in this episode, so stay tuned.
Wired for Real Estate podcast, the show that's all about empowering agents with the latest tech, tools, and tactics to take your business to the next level. If you're a producing agent who's looking to boost your productivity and enhance your marketing effectiveness, you're in the right place.
Join us as we explore the cutting-edge strategies and insights that are shaping the real estate industry today. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, our expert guests and hosts will share valuable tips and practical advice to help you succeed.
So sit back, tune in, and get ready to elevate your real estate game with the Wired for Real Estate podcast.
All right, so Chime time.
Chime time. This is the time I've been waiting for. This is prime time for Chime time.
So I'm going to bring up the ChatGPT that we talked about last time about kind of key elements on a CRM.
Okay.
Talked about this last time about what it should be doing. And then we also probably should ask ChatGPT, like, I don't know. I actually want you to just open up your screen just to talk about like, what are the key elements that kind of the basics, like what does it look like to use Chime to just put in people's information?
Yeah. I'm going to do this, not like a class style, more of just kind of an overview. And then as we have questions and as we go through ChatGPT, then we can get a little more granular with things. I think the first thing that I want to talk about is Chime has a dashboard. A dashboard is an incredible component of any software that you're using to help run your business. It's essentially a one-stop shop to see how things are going. My dashboard is not very good, but I'm going to show it to you anyway because I don't. Well, let me say it this way: I am growing my modern team. I just hired another person 2 days ago, so now I'm at like 7 people that are in the system, and then another bunch of people that are not in the system.
Well, and a dashboard is basically a kind of quick snapshot of what's going on. That you need to see, that kind of thing.
Okay, so I have it shared.
Is it customizable?
It is. Well, so yes, it is customizable. But again, that's part of what I haven't done. So let me explain this first. It's also, is it early here? It's kind of early here today. So each day, if I come in, I'll have new tasks and opportunities and leads. And this is all stuff that we're going to talk through. Business goals. If you can keep them in the system, or you can have them with another system. So because I have a real estate coach, I'm not using this for my business goals, but it could probably help a lot. You have opportunities.
It's probably smart. Like if you put your business goals in it, probably will kind of say, hey, you're on track, not on track. So that's interesting.
Oh yeah, but it still goes back to how well you've set up the systems in like that leverage Chime in order for that to even be effective. So like leads, for example. So yesterday I had X number of leads. It resets every day. Okay. Yeah. That's new people that are coming into the system. Then opportunities. Again, it's early for here in the US, but what happens is any time somebody's going to the site, let's say they go to the website and they've not clicked something, but let's say they've looked at a particular style of houses multiple times, or they've been browsing houses for 30 minutes. It's going to suggest that as an opportunity to follow up and reach out to that person. Or if they say they need to be qualified. Actually, I'm going to jump over to tasks. Tasks are if somebody says, I need to talk to a lender. I need to have a showing. All of those will show up here. Okay.
So just to clarify for people watching this, like Chime, yes, is a CRM, but the elements that Ian's also talking about is not every CRM has the capability of tracking buyers and sellers to this level because there's no front-facing website on a lot of CRMs. The Chime does have a front-facing website, which we talked about in our other episode. And now this is the back end of Chime. And Chime actually has a few back ends. There's a back end for the website design, and then there's the back end for the CRM side, which is what we're looking at right now.
Yes. And then this is the summary for all of the
Yeah.
activities that take place in the CRM. So what happens is if somebody's looking on your website and they're looking at houses, it's integrated into here. And then you can see what's taking place on this dashboard. So next you go to listings. So like this is one of my listings, this one here. It shows that I've had 99 views, 5 of my leads, meaning people in Chime, have engaged with this listing. So now I have people that are in my database, in my sphere or whatever, that have engaged with this. Interesting, right? So now I have the ability to do stuff based on that. And then I can show, actually it says 8 in this section. So there's, 5 has saved it. So 8 have interacted. I can hit view and look at those leads, or 4 existing may like it based on other things they've searched for. So there are people that have looked at this exact house, and then there are people that have looked at houses like it or the area like it. Now, I'm just going to keep talking about this overview, but I'm not going to go too in depth. I want you to understand all of the power this CRM offers, starting with, you see the views, you see the saves. That is a benefit of having the integration with the website, because now you have access to what your people are looking at and seeing. That's the first thing, okay? Second, I have a promotional ad was utilized for this. So I clicked create an ad for this listing.
Which is super easy to use. Like
super
you literally
easy.
Click the button and there it is, an ad.
Utilized listing video. If I have a video, whether I do it externally or internally, I can create it through Chime. Next thing is Social Studio, which is basically like an integrated Canva. So if you're used to using Canva, or if you're at Keller Williams,
I think that's also sharing it to all your social platforms if you have them hooked up in your CRM.
It also does that. So yeah, you can add design elements and then you can share to your social platforms. So this is the design center to like really craft it, make sure that if you're doing a carousel post or something like that, or if you need to change the font on your post, that's good. Next is promotional page. So promotional page is different from ads. We're going to get further into depth, but basically you can create a single property website. It's funny because a lot of photographers—
AKA landing page.
AKA landing page. A lot of photographers in the United States, that's one of their claims to cost. They're like, oh, but we give you a solo property website and you're going to get, it's so much clearer when people are looking. Yeah, I can click a button and get it in Chime. They don't know that because they're not realtors, right? Like they're not checking their competition, right? And that's the beauty of this. The beauty of you watching this right now is that you can see what Chime offers, which is what Real Broker gives you at a really, really reasonable price, or compare it to any other place. If you don't know what the competition has, you don't know what you're missing out on. That's huge. So photographers, lenders, they say the same thing. Oh, I give you this really cool app that lets you know when people are logging into your website. I was like, dude, you're 10 years behind. Thanks for that, though. And I'll say it just like that. Yes, I'm kind of a jerk when it comes to when people tell me what anyway, I was going to say what they think I need to know because I'm not doing well enough or whatever. I don't know. It's weird. Condescending. When they seem condescending, I'm like, eh. All right. Click to use open house form. So let's say you wanted to do an open house this weekend. You can click a button, set it up where your screen on your laptop is the login for an open house instead of having
you would log into, can you click that so I can?
We're going to come back to it. This is, okay. We're just talking dashboard, showing the things that are in here. We'll come back to that. So make a note for me and we'll explore it. But again, because this can get very long, it's extremely robust. So I just want to kind of give an overview. Click to use text code. So you can set up a text code that said, and I haven't done any of these elements except the blue ones, which is why it's on my dashboard. It's saying, hey, you have an opportunity to use a text code for this listing. So a text code / also QR code is basically a way that I can say someone scans this and they can get to the listing, or they can text a number and say, I'm going to call it tiny home on near Mueller. Like if they wanted to see the tiny home near Mueller, they just text 12345 to, I'm sorry, they text tiny to 12345, and then it'll put them in the CRM.
They could type blessing. That's quite the address.
Blessing is great. In fact, short story, the way we won, when I helped the buyer purchase this, the way we won it is it was owned by musicians. and it was on Blessing Avenue. And it was in a time where it was just really hard to get an offer accepted. So I had my buyer at the time. I knew she was into music. She was an incredible singer. And I said, would you be willing to do a video? So I recorded her, and then we talked about lyrics and stuff. She wrote a song using the word blessing, like how this house could be a blessing. And we submitted that with the offer for the house.
Oh, wow. That is a lot of work.
But
it worked.
It worked. It's not a lot of work to make something like this happen. Yeah. She was not going to win this house. We got one heck of a deal. Anyway, short story.
So what's on that? So other than this is like the smart, so you got smart listings, you've got.
Well, so this is, an active listing right now. And so these are things that I can do for those. And then you can just straight into the tools. It's like, oh, I haven't created a listing video through Chime. Cool. I can do that. Oh, I haven't posted on my social media through Chime. Cool. I can do that. So I'm not doing that because I have team members that can do that independently. However, the transition would be to have my members do it from the platform, so I never have to worry that it was done, and it goes back into the tracking portion of it. Just like creating a transaction. So this is an active listing, but if I ended up getting an offer on it, let's say today, then right now, like you said, we have other software we're using for transactions, but Chime allows you to go ahead and create the transaction in here. Oh yeah, we got this offer. These are the people. It puts all that in there. Okay, so that's smart listings. It's just kind of giving you smart activities to do based on the listings that you have.
So let's keep going down the page and seeing what else is on the dashboard.
Well, I wanted to jump over to the right real quick and say today's hot listings. I created a couple, what do you call them? Like hot sheets. So like a popular thing that people are looking for in the Austin, Texas area are houses for less than, between 250 and 300,000. Like this rarely happens, except it's starting to, right? That are 3 bedrooms, 2 baths with a garage. That's just a very common search. So I just created that search. So at any point I can click on it and I can see right now there are 9 houses that fit that criteria. So if somebody calls and says, hey, do you have this? I probably done that. Or back on market or upcoming open house. So if I wanted to create something for open houses this week, click up a button, here they go, everybody gets it. So that's hot listings. And you can customize that however you like. Next, smart plan emails. I'm not playing with those for lots of reasons, but my new assistant is putting those together. Announcements would be for anybody else that's at the team, in the team, like that has access to my Chime, that I can send out and say, hey, everybody, this listing just went live. So it's almost like a communication platform, but it's a unilateral. So it's me saying something to all the other team members, or maybe them saying, I guess it could be either way. I can see that getting annoying, so I don't use it. Property alerts. So yesterday I sent 66 emails, 41 were opened, 7 houses were clicked, right? So this is just a quick update, a few more, 5 leads viewed listings, and then 1 lead saved a listing. So that gives me some actions that I can take. Learning Center over to the right is pretty obvious, but Chime is really, really, really good at creating a standard video walkthrough of almost every feature in its platform, except they're boring, but they are good. So if
you want to watch an actual very deep dive, you can click into that. Now, if you're not already a Chime user, you wouldn't have access to this necessarily.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. This is logged in as a Chime user. So right here, this is just them giving me an ad to say, shorten efficiency, use our transaction software, or this one, refer and earn up to $1,000. If you're interested in getting a referral for Chime, just DM us or leave a comment and give us a way to reach out to you, and we'll make sure that you have that. If you're not at Real Broker, if you're interested in Real Broker, because Chime is a draw for you, same thing, reach out to us. We'll have that conversation. All right, so dialer, I just put my person on the Chime dialer yesterday. So
you put your dialer, person?
Yeah. I told you I hired an ISA specifically for this, to use my dialer in Chime and to call.
Now, this is not something you have to use.
Correct. You don't have to have a dialer,
and this is an extra thing because I can see there's like 500 minutes and 500 texts that are as part of your plan?
That's the base plan. I can pay for more, but that's the base monthly plan.
Okay.
Okay. So you don't pay more for just the 500 text messages. So the beauty of that is I have a dialer. So my BA can call and have conversations with people through the dialer, or she can send text messages. She can even do mass text. She can send those 9 people that were looking at properties yesterday. She can just click a button and say, hey, this property might end up going through a price improvement. Would you be interested in submitting an offer? And make that a single text. Click of a button, it goes out to all of them. Chime is freaking awesome. Email, same thing. I've used 317 this month, but it's only been 8 days. So that's cool. And then I can automate a lot more things. Again, the smart plans we're going to talk about later, but I'm intentionally not playing with those. So we'll talk about why later. And then try lead generation. We'll get into that, but basically there are lots of different lead types that you can purchase if you don't have leads coming in your system. So if you're a brand new agent and you're independent, or you join a brokerage and you think they're going to give you leads and then you realize that that's not how it works, then you have the ability to take ownership and create leads for you with the click of a button. You no longer have to be savvy in how to write Facebook ads, how to write Google pay-per-click campaigns. This will do it all for you for whatever price you're willing to allot to have that done. It'll even automate the way it looks, everything. And we'll show you that a little bit later. Okay, done. So
can you show me the top just quickly before you dive into things? So the very top bar, it says people, transactions, calendar, listings, campaigns, and reporting, and more. Can we just quickly talk about those before you dive into things, just so people have a summary of this first page?
Yes, I love that. So I'm on, just when you go to the Chime homepage and you first log in, it's the dashboard. To get back to the dashboard, you just click Chime. So the word Chime. So this is the homepage. This is the first thing that you see as a snapshot for your business. And then to the right of it, you have people, and people is your clients and or your sphere or anyone in your database. It's all the contact information about the people that you want to have, that you have a relationship with or building relationships with. Next is transactions. Transactions, again, goes back to if you're leveraging it, but anytime you have a house that has closed or a lease or a purchase, if you have client information tied to it, it shows up in this transactions field. Again, I believe that the plan for Chime is to create a fully robust transaction management software.
Just so I can see.
We're going to go through all of them. Yeah, we're going to go. Well, no. I have tons. We're going to go through all of these. Calendar is an integration. So Chime has a calendar built in, and they have integrations with your Google Calendar, Microsoft, Yahoo, anything else, Outlook if you use that. So you can set that up. Listings are managing your active listings, your team or your brokerage's active listings, and then doing things with those listings, like if you wanted to promote or social studio or something like that. Campaigns, that goes back to the smart campaigns, which we'll click on later. And it's basically drip campaigns plus. So drip campaigns, smart campaigns, any kind of automation that goes out to people without you having to manually intervene. It's really cool. That's why it's a campaign. So if you have a newsletter that you've built into Chime, most people use MailChimp or A1 Weber, or like there are all sorts of things. You have it built into Chime, so you can use it. We'll talk about that later. Reporting is all of the data in depth. So if I wanted to see how many people closed in the last 3 months from YouTube, I would do that in reporting. Website is how to interface with my front-facing or client-facing website. So if Zillow or Realtor.com make a change to their website, they spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions and billions of dollars on advertising and making sure their design is just right. And so I will absolutely be like, okay, they're doing that, I'm gonna do it too, just because it's continuity for the client. And so I can click on here and make my website really quickly look just like Zillow, for example. So they don't know that, they don't care, as long as it's easy enough for them. And then more is your marketplace where you can purchase services through Chime. We'll look at it later, but so something like Facebook ads. If I wanted to run Facebook or Instagram ads, I can go in the marketplace, and that's going to be one of the options to select. And then all of my settings. So settings should be self-explanatory. Who's my broker? What's my information? And then any type of stuff that I have to change. That's the API stuff is in settings. So that's pretty advanced. But if you have to start doing integrations and all that with other apps, usually it's going to be in settings. Okay, so that's that. So now we can go into people. Cool? Any questions so far? Any thoughts?
No, let's dive into people and see what it looks like.
Man, that's 20 minutes. I've just been rambling. Okay.
I know. We've got not much time to go through the rest.
I know. Okay.
People is showing you these. So just a question. You've got all leads, new leads, referred in, referred out, attempting contact, warm. Okay. Are these things that you set up, or was that Chime did already set that up?
Chime had it set up by default. I added a few columns. So this is called our lead flow or pipeline.
Yep.
And so people come in, some are new. Then I've got a lot of new people that have come in, and then some get referred. And so you see the word pipeline, I can actually drop down and say, oh, Tammy, you know what? I actually know her, or I connected her with the lender, so I can just change that. But basically, this is an order of completion. I'm attempting contact. They're warm. I've set an appointment. Oh my gosh, they're pending, they're closed, and I'm nurturing, or they're past clients, right? So there's
nurturing is in your world. Nurturing means after they've closed.
Correct. This one is, I think it's past clients not done. So we went through a transaction and it fell apart for whatever reason. I had to separate that out for me for lots of reasons, right? Because I'm building huge. Past clients nurture, and then bad leads don't contact. I even have a past clients do not contact in here somewhere. DNC. Yep. Real estate agents. Sometimes you get other agents that come in. It's a whole lot. Cold leads.
So these are all these categories are the pipeline section, right? Where I see
all the pipeline section.
Agent, if I want to add a lead, you're assigning it to.
Yep. If I want to add a lead, I can just do that. If I wanted to add columns, I can do that in here. These are all my different columns. So I can create information. But first, I want to pull up one person. So I'm going to pull up Tammy. Nobody mess with Tammy. Please be kind. You did see that there was a lead score. I'm just going to go over this real quick. So she's a new lead. I can create groups for where she falls into. I can do all sorts of things based on nurturing, add smart plans, blah, 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 blah. So all these activities. I'm going rather quickly because we have a lot of information to cover, and I just want you to have an overview. If you want to know more, then reach out to us. We can do maybe a live demo or a live training and have a better class. That could be a lot of fun.
Well, and here's a shameless plug. There's going to be a tutorial video in my membership. So if anyone's in my membership, you'll see all that. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. All right. You can tag people. It shows when they came in, where they came from. So she came from realtor.com. Contact information. I can add family members, full details. She doesn't currently have a social account added, but you can actually click here and it'll search for her name and try to connect more social media accounts.
So quick question about the social account. Yep. When it's connected, can you record DMs or interaction on social or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Not easily yet. You can have an integration with something called mini chat as a third party, which will allow you to do that, but that's later. Right. That's for super advanced. Okay. Lead score. This is huge. I can look at, if I had 100 people come in tomorrow, I can tell you who I should prioritize based on this. So is their email valid? Like the system checks phone number. Have they been to the site more than once? So it improves the score algorithmically. The last touch means the last time something was sent to them, whether it's a call, text, or email, was 1 day ago. Great. Last time they visited the website, 1 day ago. So and you can go on analysis and it'll give you all sorts of depth of information about this client that I've never even talked to, never met, don't know anything about her. The particular property that's of high interest is right here. So I know exactly what she's looking for. It happens to be a lease in Liberty Hill. This is the property.
So see that how it's gray and then it's blue there.
Sorry, me.
I think when you hover over the single family home, I think they assume, it's an analytic result based on leads activities versus
Yeah,
the gray ones were them actually putting that criteria in. Because I've
correct.
seen it guess on other elements as well too when it's that person hasn't filled something in.
Well, they're not looking. She's not looking at apartments.
Yeah.
So she's only been looking at single family homes, but she didn't say single family. She's only been clicking on them.
But
So
it's
the
good for people to
algorithm,
know. It's like that's how smart Chime is. It's like
so
figuring
smart,
things out.
so smart. And right now it's only one match listing, but as she uses the software, because she's a newer lead, but as she uses the software more and more and more, as the emails come out and the smart plans happen, then it'll say, oh, there's like 9 match listings because it's in the area and it fits her criteria.
I also think it's interesting you have got your AI assistant named Leah. Mine's named Anna. I never named mine. I'm sure you can kind of name yours.
Oh, you can name it. So I actually went and found there are sites where you can get people's photos, like models, because people get it is. People get weird about AI stuff, right? And so I have an AI model.
But a fake AI model photo, I don't know if that's any better. You could even use, remember that thing we were talking about on another episode of AI generated photos?
Yeah.
It's still weird. It's still weird.
Yeah, it's all weird until you realize that it's not. Yeah. Because all these other companies are doing it.
On the left-hand side. Why does it say private lead underneath her name?
Okay. Where's that? Oh, I'm going to go over all that. So private. Okay. When leads come in, you can set criteria on whether or not they're public, meaning anybody else on my team has access to see, or maybe even call and reach out to this person, or direct to me. Like I know this is going to be my lead. So for example, if I pay for an ad for a listing that I have, which was this one, I want that to be a private lead. I don't want that to just be dispersed because I paid for this. Right. And I'm an independent, agent, but I have a modern team. So if I'm going to give them something, then I will make it public and I will send it out. Okay. So there's that. You can choose what agent is in here. You can do the assistant. You can add, I think I have an actual assistant that's not just a VA. Referral partner is interesting. So if I want to refer it out to somebody else, I can put it in there. Inside sales, lender. So you can add lenders into the platform where they have access to see all your leads. Awesome. And then with this particular person, so we're going to jump over to the middle. Activities are things that she's done. I can see everything that she's done. She's looked at 6 different emails, 2 text messages that have come through.
If you sent an email out from here, that would also show up there, right?
Correct. Any notes that I add will show up here. I can log a call. If I made it on my phone, but I didn't do it through Chime, I can add that in here. Or if my assistant did it through their own phone, they can add it in here and they can leave notes. Engagement is what she's clicked on or searched on. Smart plans, again, none are assigned, and we'll come back to why. And then transactions, we don't have a transaction active, but if I had a person that had an active transaction, all of that would be here. All the documents, all the transaction data. All right, so that's the activities. And look at this. AI assistant is trying to schedule a showing. Review here. So that means she's probably already had a conversation. I'm just going to click review. Let's just review it. There we go. She's already reached out, sent a couple things, but this person's not yet replied. So I can mute it. I can call her, and if she answers, then I can mute it myself. Right?
Muting means the AI would stop.
Muting the AI would stop it from reaching out to her because I've now taken over, or my ISA has taken over.
Now, if you don't mute it, but you are starting to take over, is it smart enough to know that? So it just turns off automatically?
There are triggers, and because it's smart, because it's actually AI and not just a campaign, like not just a smart campaign, because it's an AI, it can figure that out, but it learns. So an example would be, it would turn it off if it realizes that I have scheduled the appointment manually. The AI would be like, okay, he scheduled the appointment. We don't need to focus on that. I'm like, man, that's awesome. So yes, it is that smart. Next, over on the right-hand side, you have appointments with this person, tasks for this person, and that's all. I mean, that's freaking crazy. Tags, mailing address, all that. So this is, when you were talking about getting information, this is what you want to fill out. Like a basic CRM is just this. Chime is all the other stuff that nobody thinks about. All right. So that is just people. And I haven't even started talking about filters, AI contacted, opportunities, date they registered. And I can just sort and constrict these people, everybody who's with the lender, everybody who came in the last 30 days. I can do all that. All right, that's that. So now let's jump over to transactions. Okay, so transactions, anytime you're going through the process and you're tying a person to it, even if you're not using this as a transaction management software, it still ties it together. So like this person was buying a $500,000 house. I've got 1.8 under contract, 11 pending, blah, 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 blah. Right. So it shows all that information. And this works just like Trello. So if I want to drag this over as a card, I can, or my assistant can, or my VA or whoever. Right. And so it just shows your volume of transactions. I can sort.
There's a side note.
Please.
Someone told me that Chime versus Follow Up Boss looks more like Android and Follow Up Boss looks like Apple. And I'd have to agree. It does have a lot of the same things, but it has a different it has a different user interface as you make that face.
Well, so I was at another brokerage and they used KV Core, aka conversion, and I was on the beta when they launched that. And I think we talked about that in one of our previous episodes. But KV Core was Android. It was not easy for somebody who wasn't tech savvy. It was
okay, but I just mean the physical aesthetic look of it. It's very
no way. No, look at this is Apple Blue. This is your text messages that everybody's whining about. There's one field in here that's green. So under contract is the Android field, but I can actually change the color of these.
It's the boxiness and the fact that you have to scroll down.
Boxiness. It's a smooth round corner.
No, see how there's the scroll on the side, this gray bar or whatever.
This was in
on Follow Up Boss. I don't have that.
This was in Windows before Android or iPhone even existed. That's not Android or iPhone. Forget that. Whoever said that, they're new. They're brand new.
They're not new. That's Zach that said
they're new to technology.
No, Zach is not new to technology.
Anyway,
I'm looking at my deal tracking and I'm looking at yours going, yeah, okay. I like to look better on mine.
I'll concede. I'm also in a different view. So let's see if I switch it. So there's this version, card view or list view, listings, other. So if I wanted to add off market or maybe commercial or something else, I can. Sometimes there are transactions that don't fit, but these are also filtered. You can filter everything. You can search. You can even search in the notes of a transaction. So if I said didn't close or something like that, then I can pull that up and show those properties. Cool. Yeah. All right. So that's transactions. Transactions eventually feeds into your reporting as well. So calendar is pretty straightforward, depending on how you have it set up. So I think I have this. Yeah, I have 7 more. Yeah. So it's not expanded, but I have things in my calendar synced. So birthdays, holidays. So I can put all of that in there as well. Cool. That's really straightforward. There's really nothing to talk through other than you can add your social posts, buyer tours, appointments, all that to your Google Calendar through Chime.
Okay.
And then you have list view and calendar view. We're on calendar view. Task view. That's what I meant. Hey, we can be most efficient if we do X. I didn't even do it. I don't even know rows. Oh, this is my AI or my smart plan. That's so funny. Oh, no, this is a drip. Yeah, smart plan. So it's a smart plan I created that sends out a video for her to get on my Calendly link when she registers. That's funny. Okay, we'll get there later. Over to the left though, since I'm still in calendar, so it's just a bunch of tasks for me and then tasks for my team.
So your calendar has appointments, but also your tasks.
Correct. And so if I have a team of, let's say, 20 agents, then I can see all of the team's calendar as well. So it's really, really powerful. And then I can just click showings. I can say, well, what are my showings? I don't leverage this for showings, but that is what my new person is going to be doing, is adding them into Chime. All of my showings will be in here. All of my buyer appointments will be in here. Because right now, they're just on Google. So it's integrated, but it's not showing up in here. So that's why I had to hire another person.
Track a lot of things. Like I have Chime and I do not use any of this.
I know, it's ridiculous. All right. So yeah, my listings and my buyers. I can jump back and forth and just have all my numbers. It's done. All my numbers. All right. So let's look at listings. Okay. So with listings, it's pretty straightforward. You can say my listings, team listings, or all listings. And so like if I go to team is my MLS, not my team, my MLS, or however you have it set up. Right now, it's my, that's how I have it set up. And then all listings are, all listings are my MLS. I wonder why the team disappeared. Anyway, all listings are my MLS.
Your all listings disappeared too.
It did. I love it. I love what's happening. Let's just chalk it up to my internet connection at the, I'm at the dealership still. So secret, we're not doing this live right now.
And then the hot sheets are on the bottom.
Correct, which is what I set up before. And if I need to add more, I can do that with this settings.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you set up hot sheets?
Yep, I can click that, create whatever I want. So a great example is if I just want to, so for a while there, what I was doing is any houses that were on the market for more than 12 days, when it was like extremely competitive, I would create my own hot sheet for a certain area on the market, more than 12 days, because there was a higher probability that I could get a lower offer or win the offer because they didn't have any that they were going to accept. So I would create a hot sheet for that. That's weird that they all went away. But anyway, you can add a manual listing, lease listings, whatever, right? Okay, so let's say I'm going to go back to that one. So I can go back and manage this listing. I actually just sold this one, so it's not a listing anymore. So I can manage this one and all these videos that I was talking about. So let me click on manage. When I click on manage, look, my top buyer, all these people are in my Chime. They registered and they're like, we could buy, like, this is the likelihood that they'd be willing to buy this property, this particular property.
Mm-hmm. This actually looks like Boomtown. Boomtown had the same feature.
Well, you just said it looked like Android. So anyway, offers. So if I want, I can
same functionality.
I can create a link so that the offers go through here. Currently, I use a platform called Propy because it's NFT based. Whole other side conversation. And it makes the offer, it summarizes the offer for the seller. Looks beautiful.
Our board uses Showing Time, and we have the ability to use the offers as well through that platform.
Love it. Heck yeah. All right.
But so some agents don't know how to use it. They don't. Like one guy actually put in, when he filled in the purchase price, he added an extra zero. So instead of it being 475,000, it was like 400. No, I don't know how he got this number. He had $17 million. And nice. I said, I don't even need to talk to my clients. We'll just accept this $17 million offer.
That's funny. So kind of another pipeline, a Chevron pipeline here is the status of the listing. So right now it's on market. So you have your pre-listing activities, and then as it goes under contract, that's managed when you're changing it in the transaction.
And I just really like that it's so easy to use. Like we use this to create our landing page for the property, the feature sheets, like just it's so simple. And Ian's talking about a lot of the features of Chime, but you don't have to use all of it, especially when you're at Real and you pay like hardly anything for it. That's what I just use it for, what makes sense for me. And I think you can layer things in. So maybe this year you're going to focus just on this, and then next year you're going to add in another, because it is quite a bit to kind of get into all of it and use it all, because we all still have to sell houses and not just be on a computer. Granted, if you have an assistant to run it for you, that's another whole thing too, right? Yeah,
but then there's a whole training methodology for your assistant. And then like I'm trying to incorporate where every employee dedicates an hour a week to learning something new. That was a Sharonism, right? Because I think that what happens is we get these gaps because they're reliant on someone else to learn. Yeah. And this is anybody. And so instead of that, I'll say, here are the things we need to learn. Devote 1 hour a week to any one of these things, and I'll pay the time for it, right?
You also have to, so I agree to that point to some degree, but you also sometimes don't need to learn all of the things.
Okay, but this isn't a coaching session. I love you.
Not doing all the hows, because you learning something could take you 2 hours. It could take the right person 30 minutes.
I think it's growth. I love this. We should save this conversation for later. If you like this conversation and you want to talk about that, then put it in the comments. Let us know, because we want topics. We want to make sure that what you're receiving from us is highly value added, and we want to incorporate that AI element and just all the things technology and real estate related. But because this is focused on Chime, I just want to kind of get through. We only have like 20 minutes left, and I barely scratched the surface, right? Okay, so the next thing is you've got actions. So I want to show what it looks like when you view the listings on this site. So I just clicked view the listing on this site, so you can see what the consumer sees from that house. Very clean, very straightforward. They can click schedule a tour, right? You can put whatever picture you want
about the property and the map down below. Can you customize this view?
Yep, you can customize this view. The market, look, unlock local market trends. I made it where they had to log in for that, which I'll show that later. Neighborhood demographic. People are always asking.
A lot of information.
Oh yeah, people are always asking. Well, here's the thing. You look at Redfin, you look at Realtor.com, you look at Zillow, and they offer this stuff. And so if you don't have this on your Chime site, on your website, your customer-facing website, that's why people don't believe you. This is the trust. The trust is, without even saying it, I'm like, oh, no, here's the neighborhood demographics. You need that? It's right here.
You know what's interesting?
It's all coming from the same place.
Side note for people who are listening from Canada.
Yes,
we don't have access to all of that information to be shared. We don't even have schools because of our privacy, whatever. We can't get access to the full function of Chime. Just
crazy.
A side note. Yeah.
So you also have your comps here. These are similar properties. And then this is my favorite. So if a client or somebody browsing my website sees this and they hit save, that's what shows up as a save on my website. It also shows how long, like if they're sitting here and they start clicking through the pictures, it shows that. The big one though, like with any social media, is share. If they go and share this with their family will end up on your site and start looking. Realtors do not focus on this enough. This will change your world. If you have a client that's starting a new listing, they're like, oh, I want to tell my people about it. I'm selling my house. Wait until you have your own website that's shareable, that captures their information. And so you set it all up and you say, okay, cool. Like that's part of your listing consultation. I'm going to create a website for you so that you can share this with friends and family and loved ones in case they know somebody who's interested in purchasing a home. And so you give them this link. Oh, sorry. You can email them that link. And then now they have the ability to share the house instead of just taking their own pictures and putting it on their own Facebook, and you never hear
a lot of times they'll share other realtors' websites. I love that.
Oh my gosh. Yes. That's the worst. Oh my goodness. Oh, I lost the feed.
You lost it. That was not me kicking you out of your
Sorry about that. Yeah. It's because I closed the tab. So we're going to go back to Chime.
So
you can see it again.
Limited time left.
We're going to run.
The deep dive of Chime. So if we take a look, so listings, I think, is a big one that I think everyone should be diving into on Chime because why wouldn't you? And I think basic people recording is another one. The campaigns, I think we might need to talk about another time just because it's even more descript when it comes to campaigns.
And reporting and website. We'll just save all those for another time. But so let me just finish going through this page then, just the listings page. So we'll get like halfway through high level. Okay, so over to the right, activities that have taken place. So I dropped the price. I did a potential buyer registered, all these sorts of things. Promotion ads. Remember I told you I ran a promotion ad? Okay, so this is my total cost for that ad. I got 2,300 impressions, 64 clicks, 4 actual leads that are engaging from my database. So $225 for 4 leads. That's decent enough, I guess, for not having to do any work, right? And this is what the ad looks like. So you get to see exactly what it looks like. Then there's Social Studio. So if I wanted to create a social post, look, I just clicked a button. It's already here. Boom. I can literally select the social media accounts that it's tied to. It's automatically selected.
Also, right? That little green thing right after the link.
Here? Oh, that's Grammarly. It's just making sure that it's making sure I'm spelling things correctly and I have good grammar. So this is what it looks like if it's on Facebook. If I click on Instagram, Oh, I just took Instagram off. Sorry, there you go. I got to scroll. Okay, this is what it would look like on Instagram. This is what the ad would look like. LinkedIn, or sorry, the share.
No
this isn't
post,
even an
it's not
ad.
an ad.
This is just a post.
No.
This is me just
Yeah.
posting that house.
And
Okay.
you can schedule it. So it says publication date immediately, or you can schedule it.
Yep, post now. I can schedule it, and this is what it looks like on all the different sites. It is ridiculous, right? Okay, free. I mean, not free, but like with Real Broker, it's insanely inexpensive. So, so that's the social studio. I just post and share. Design gets a lot more. So I can do videos if I created a video and wanted to add it. And then there's Chime designs. Okay, so Chime designs are more like Canva. So I can click open house, right? Or for sale or just sold signs here and just add that listing. So let's do it real quick. So I'm going to click just sold. Go. So it created a new tab. Share this tab.
We can see it.
Yes. Okay.
It's just slowly.
I know. I'm still at the dealership, so it's loading.
I'm wondering if it'll pull in the photo automatically.
Yeah, that's kind of part of the excitement, huh?
We're just waiting in anticipation. Is Chime going to be smart enough to know? And we may or may not find out today because the internet is not as
well. Here's the thing. Most CRMs, they don't do this. They don't do this stuff. They do not do this stuff. So the fact that this is in here is all a bonus. People get so much value, and they have no idea that this value exists. I don't know why. I think it's because people learn just enough to be dangerous, but not enough to be extremely successful
today.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, I'll just go back to the other one. I'll let that keep loading. All right, so that's the design. So then there's promotional pages. Okay, and so if I wanted to auto create, it creates a promotional page is a landing page. It is a single property website that I can use. So if I just wanted to send this single property to my leads, I can send directly to my leads here.
So I just want to bring up that A, it's auto created.
The A is auto created.
Yeah. So you don't have to do anything, but you can edit it like that little button right beside on the left there. Yeah. You can edit it how you want it to look, but it'll auto create it, which is a huge time saver.
It is ridiculous. Showings for this particular property, I do not have it configured within Chime because of the calendar integration. My assistant is going to start focusing on that. So that's huge. Open house, same thing. I can create an open house form for anybody who's using this. So if I have like 5 agents that want to do an open house, they can just put it in here. I mean, they won't because they want to keep the information, but whatever. Text code right here, click to create that text code, and then a seller report. So I can actually send a CMA an activity log directly to my seller, click of a button. Every week I can be like, oh yeah, here's what's going on.
And it's pulling up stats, just so people know. The seller report is pulling up stats that Chime has recorded in terms of, like, you saw Ian's thing where it shows how many leads were matched to it, how many people are looking at it. It pulls that kind of information for a seller report.
Yes.
So we have gone over, we tried to deep dive, and we did, but we didn't have time to go through all of it.
That's a lot.
What I feel like, there's a lot of information here. If you are on Chime, hopefully this has helped you like discover something. I think the biggest takeaway for me is you need to invest into using the listings function. Like, get good at that. And also, we talked about people. We talked about in our last podcast about building that relationship in terms of using your client relationship management system to build relationship. And, this kind of deep dive today focused a lot about buyers coming into the system and, building that relationship. But you also have to remember a CRM is also for your sphere that you can also put into Chime. They don't have to be just paid leads that come into Chime. So there's a whole element there. If your lead source is an affiliate referral, so maybe with lenders or other businesses, you can also throw them in there as well. You went through a ton of stuff, Ian. What is your biggest challenge for people?
Oh, challenge, or what do I want them to do for homework? Because that's different.
Well, that's the same thing.
I didn't get to show what I think is the most important. So based on the information we talked about for this session, those first few tabs, let me look at the few tabs real quick. I think the most important thing is looking at the elements of a really robust CRM like Chime and saying, can I quantify the value of that person? Sorry, not the value. It's never the value. The likelihood of that person buying or selling with me based on the information that I have. Because that, like the lead score in Chime, is so powerful. So if I have 10 people in my sphere, but none of them have ever gone to my website, or I don't know if they ever gone to my website, I don't have complete information from them. I don't even know if they're looking at houses. If I don't have that information, then how can I quantify their likelihood of wanting to use me? The system does that for me if they are using it. Otherwise, it's all conjecture and conversation on the phone. Like, hey, oh, what's going on? You thinking about buying or selling anything? No? Okay, how are your kids? Blah, blah, blah. Like you go through that. But you don't actually know. People will lie to your face all day long. In fact, in America, one of our realtor sayings are buyers are liars. And that's not, I don't take offense to that. I think what happens is people don't know. In America, you walk into a lot of stores and it becomes, they kind of like jump down your throat. They're like, oh, can I help you? Can I do that? Hey, because it's commission based. So people are turned off and they start off with, no, I'm good. And then right after that, they'll say, oh, actually, can you help me find? It's like, they really do want help. They're not walking into the store for no reason. Same here. Everyone you know is involved in real estate in some capacity. The system helps you clarify the likelihood and the timing of their real estate relationships and you. Sorry, that's my monologue. I'm done. So the challenge is deciding if, yeah, well, that is the challenge. The challenge is, do you have the ability to do that? And if not, answer why. And if you can, start creating the spreadsheet or checking the CRM and that information, kind of like we said in the last video, on how you can improve these relationships leveraging something like Chime. Maybe assign a manual score to some of your leads, right? So if it's your sister-in-law, what score would you give her?
And I think I wouldn't even do number score.
Yeah. Sorry. Some people.
I would even do like A, B, or C.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Who refers you the most amount of business? Who is a raving fan? If you tag that as an A client, because they're the ones that are always referring you. A B client maybe is someone who's worked with you, likes you, wants to refer you, but you've never seen referrals. So just think of like how you would build those relationships differently. And because a number system is hard when you're a human being and you're not like
it is
gathering all this data of, did you look at my website? Did you do this and that? But I think for me, what I would like to challenge people on is, after you've watched this, if you're still watching at this stage, you've applauded for being here this long. Comment down below wherever you're watching it and tell us what CRM you're using and what you took away from today's long deep dive of Chime. And maybe you're using a different different CRM. So maybe you can say, I'm considering Chime. This is what my CRM doesn't do that I see Chime doing. Because if you understand that, then maybe you should consider moving. But if you don't even understand what your CRM existingly does, I would kind of be wary on making a change, because Chime is too big and too robust if you don't know what you're doing. Now, if you have nothing, I think, and you're with Real, Chime is a no-brainer because it's a lot cheaper than most CRMs to use. It's just very, very complicated if you don't understand what you need. Anything can be complicated. But I think it's also at the same time as it being complicated, it's also really easy to use. So it's kind of a conundrum in that sense. But don't let indecision be your decision. Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay, well, that was like everybody.